Well, hello and welcome to my long overdue review of the Canon EOS R5. Now I want to keep this video quick and precise. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I also want to make sure that I kind of address everything there is to know before, you look at buying this camera or you think about, getting one, or if you just want to know more about it. So we're going to tackle this in 4 different sections. First thing we're going to talk about is the design. Then we're going to move on to talk about the video, then the photo, and then lastly, we're going to talk about like the conclusion, who is this camera designed for and should you buy this camera? So I think let's just jump straight into it. The first thing we're going to talk about is the design. Now, if you've ever used a Canon EOS R, this camera is very similar to one of those with just a couple of improvements. And on the EOS R, there was a couple of things that were a bit interesting. One of them was the touch bar. That was a little bit of a weird feature. And so they've replaced that with the joystick, which is amazing. The joystick is so good. And they've also added one of the dials, like the rotating dials, instead of just like a push like kind of button. And the dials are really good. If you've ever used a 5D or a 6D or something like that, or a 1D even, that dial is awesome, and it's great to also have it on this camera. It just makes this camera that much better. Now around the camera, you've got a bunch of different things. You've got obviously your ports for plugging things in. You've got your mini HDMI. You've got your headphone jack. You've got your mic input. You've got your USB-C, which can be used to plug into computers and also charge the camera. A little bit of a fun fact. And then on the other side of the camera, you have your dual card slots, which takes a CF Express and an SD card. Now CF Express is obviously used for when you're shooting your 8K and your 4K 120 and all that kind of stuff. Around the camera, there is also the top screen, which is really handy just for quick glances and information. You've also got a swivel screen. Everyone loves a swivel screen, especially when doing videos like this, or when you're vlogging, or when you just want to get down low or get different angles. It's really good just being able to flip out that screen and get the shot from all these different types of angles. Also, can't forget about the viewfinder. Obviously, it's not like you're looking through the lens like a digital SLR. It is an electronic viewfinder, but either way, it is still great to look through. Gives you all information, looks really good. All in all, really happy with the whole design of this camera. It's also really nice to hold. It's a bit fatter than the EOS R, but ergonomically, when you hold it, it's really nice, to kind of hold, use, take photos. All in all, I think it's a really well designed camera. Now, one of the big things that they pushed when they marketed this camera was the 8K video, which is insane. Being able to, produce such a high quality video image from such a small device is insane. But of course, that comes with its downfalls of, file sizes and the overheating because it's a small camera and there's no fans. But all in all, it is crazy that this camera can shoot in that high quality. And it's also got a bunch of other video modes, which are really cool. So this camera obviously shoots in 8K 30. And then it shoots in 4K, 120, 60, and 30. And then it also shoots in 1080p at 60 and 30 as well. So you got a whole bunch of different filming modes right there from the get-go. That's you can use all those different types, capture in whatever quality you want. The 4K also has a 4K high quality mode, which takes advantage of the full 8K sensor. So basically, you got a 4K image that's really sharp because it's using, all the pixels of the 8K. And then you've also got your C log, which is your log shooting, which is also really good as well. Get your good dynamic range in that. And all in all those shooting modes are really good. I'll show you a quick example of just a comparison between 1080p, 4K high quality, and 8K. As you can see, the 1080p is obviously has less quality than all the other modes. It's kind of hard to kind of tell the difference between 4K high quality, and 8K. Those 3 modes are pretty close. But when you look closely, especially between 4K and 4K high quality, when you just look at them just next to each other, you can't really tell. But as you zoom in, you can start to tell. Obviously, the 4K high quality is a higher quality video. And then when you look at the difference between the 4K high quality and the 8K, again, really hard to see. And when you zoom in, it's still hard to see. The 8K is slightly better, but it's super hard to kind of distinguish the difference between those quality modes. And when we go back and look at all 4 of them, it's kind of still hard to see the difference between all of them. So I think Canon has done a really good job with the video modes on this camera. Now there are two awesome features of this camera that work really well with both the video and the photo mode, and that is of course the autofocus, the dual pixel autofocus, and the in-camera stabilization. Those two features work so well with these camera modes. As you can see from this quick example, here's a little look at the autofocus. It does really well of tracking my face, even when I'm, moving pretty quickly, moving around. It also does a good job tracking animals. It's got the animal tracking, as you can see. It can pick up Pluto pretty well. Oh, look at him, what a grub. And then also the stabilization. Here's a quick preview of me riding the booster board. Here's what it looks like without stabilization. As you can see, a little shaky. And then of course we add the in-camera stabilization. Still got a little bit of shake to it, but it is way better than it was without it. Now, like I said, those two modes work really well with video, but they also work really good with photo. And so we're gonna move on to talk about the photos now. So this camera is also a great stills camera. It takes 45 megapixel photos, that's just insane. I don't even know, to be honest, I don't really know much about megapixels. I just kind of, the bigger numbers obviously better. But seeing a big number like 45 compared to a camera when I think my last camera was 24, that's insane. It's like double the megapixels. And it also shoots at up to 20 FPS a second. That's crazy. I've only used that a couple times. The way it works is you kind of choose the mode and you turn it on, and then when it takes the photos, it doesn't make a sound. You just see this white border flashing, and that's how you know it's taken these photos. It's insane. It just takes all these photos, and it's like, what the heck are you doing? So here are some quick example shots that I took the other day when I was up at the Anzac Walk, and just some of the photos. I shot all these in RAW. Love shooting in RAW. It's great. It was a little bit disappointing at the start there when the camera first came out. I couldn't edit my RAWs because it was too advanced, but now I can edit them all, so that's good. Now back to the two modes I was talking about, the autofocus and the stabilization. Now the autofocus in the photos is great, of course. Just, flicking at a, subject or whatever you're looking at, you just, hold the button down, focuses, perfect every time. It's great. Also with portraits and faces and stuff, it just gets that tracking really well. So I've been really enjoying the autofocus. And then one of the modes that I didn't really think that I would enjoy, well, no, that's a lie. I didn't not think that I would enjoy it, but I just didn't know the practicalities, or I guess the ways you could use it, because I wasn't thinking hard enough. Sometimes I don't use the brain. But when you're taking photos with the stabilization, you can take photos up to 4 seconds without a tripod. Now that is insane. Take a look at this photo. I took this photo on the Anzac Bridge, and what I did was I just turned the stabilization on, and I just took the photo. I think this photo was taken for 3 seconds. And when we zoom in here, you can see that it's still pretty sharp. There's no noticeable shaking, and that was just handheld. I just took that with my hands. That's insane, considering that, when you normally take a photo for 3 seconds, it's, shaky because your hands are shaky. But, having that in-camera stabilization for the photo mode is also great. And when I had the camera, I didn't really initially think about that, but it's such a groundbreaking thing having that stabilization within the camera. Now, who is this camera for? And I think it's pretty clear who this camera is designed for. In the marketing, it was a bit weird because they were pushing the 8K really big, and they were kind of making it like it was a camera for videographers. But obviously, as you can see from all the different specs, the high specs in the video and the photo, this camera is definitely a hybrid shooting camera. That's who it is made for. It is made for hybrid shooters like myself, the people who enjoy both really good video modes and really good photo modes. And having both of them together in a camera like this in a small package is just crazy. But that doesn't mean if you're a videographer or a photographer that you can't, use the camera for either one of those things. If you really like video specs, then sure, get this camera as well. You just have to keep an eye on those things like I've said about the overheating. I haven't personally experienced any overheating issues while, filming anything, but it is a thing that can happen if you're pushing the camera to its extreme ends. This camera is definitely targeted towards pro users. It's not just your everyday camera that you just buy for fun. This is something that you would be using for work or to create things. So should you buy this camera, if you're looking for a new camera and you're looking for something that can handle everything really well and you've got a bit of money, sure, buy it. It's awesome. But of course, if you're on a budget and you're really restricted with what you can spend, don't buy this camera. Please don't. Go buy something else. So I think that pretty much wraps up my review for this camera. Hopefully you found out some new things. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I should have hopefully sprinkled a bit of footage here and there. I think I might have had some in the intro. I'm not sure. I haven't edited this video yet, but there's probably some footage, and you've definitely seen some examples throughout. So hopefully that was a good overview of what the camera does. I probably definitely missed some things. Like, it's definitely not a comprehensive review, even though, you know, that's what I kind of aim for. So if you think I missed something, go onto the Canon website, scroll through the specs, find someone else's video. I'm sure someone did a better job than I did. But all in all, that's the kind of features that I wanted to share with you. They are my thoughts. They are my concerns. Did I share any concerns? I don't know. Anyway, that's what I think about this camera, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. I always like to end a YouTube video with talking about my plans for new YouTube videos. If you haven't already, you can go ahead and watch my video for PAR. I will link it. Is it there, the eye, or is it there? Anyway, it'll be one of these corners. It'll pop up. You can see the video. Go watch it. It's probably my favorite short film that I've ever made ever. It's great. I love it. It's a little tribute to my pa, who unfortunately passed away a couple of weeks ago. But it's a great video. I love that video. So go check it out. And then also I have planned, I'm going to Sydney for my dad's birthday over the weekend. So I'll probably, film some B-roll and then maybe make like a Sydney B-roll video or something. I don't know. Or maybe I'll, make a video. I was going to get back into the vlogs maybe because I'm on holidays for a little bit, but I've been so cranked with, doing videos at work that I decided I need to take a little break, but I really, really, really wanted to make this video. So hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you really liked it. Dislike it if you didn't like it. I won't hurt my feelings. And then hit subscribe also. That would really help. I don't know, it'd be cool to see 100 subscribers. I think I'm at like 60 or something. Anyway, hit subscribe if you'd like, and I will see you guys around the YouTube. I'll be back soon. Hopefully it won't be too long of a delay between videos. And yeah, catch you guys later.